Alright, so a lot of you may not know me by face or name. I am owner of lifelesspvp.com, a faction server on Minecraft. I just recently had a dear friend take his own life. Another dear friend, Strave YT, made a video on it, and he covered a lot of it. I wanted everyone to know exactly what happened. So, to elaborate a little bit on what Strafed had said, Vanilla, or George, had been struggling with depression quite a bit during the time that his dad was sick on Timeless. I got pretty close with him. We stayed up many nights just talking about what was going on, and just me trying to be there for him as best as possible. And I did everything I could to help him through the times that he had. And I only wish I could have done more, because maybe he'd still be here with us. A lot of you guys know George as a dev on my server, but he was much more than that. Me and my now fiance were having some problems, and he took it upon himself when me and her broke up a while back to message her and tell her how much of an impact I'd made on his life and how good of a person I was, and did everything he could to try to help my relationship through that process. And thanks to him messaging her and talking to her, I can proudly now say that that's my fiance. Now, as for the depression that he dealt with, I would say for about 6-7 months on Timeless while I was head staff, I would sit on TeamSpeak with him. And we would just talk. We'd talk about how he was feeling. We would talk about how he was gonna do what he could to stay strong through that process of his dad being sick. And I made sure to reassure him that it may hurt, but he needs to show his dad that he can stay strong for him. And I'd like to think that I made a difference. I talked to Vanilla the day before he took his life, and he seemed normal. He didn't seem like anything was wrong. And I woke up to messages on my Skype letting me know. So then I immediately went on to Facebook, and I happened to be on Facebook right before his account was deactivated, and I seen the mass amounts of RIP. So while everybody thought it wasn't true, I knew it was true. George was much more than just one of the best devs that I've ever seen. George was an amazing friend who would give you the shirt off his back. He was a kind person, a caring person. I can't tell you how many times me and him hadn't have spoken for 4 or 5 months, and he would just randomly message me out of nowhere and ask me how my kids were doing, or ask how I was doing, and just try to catch up. And it never failed. Every time he messaged, I was right there to talk. Didn't care if I was busy or not. George was loved by many, and hopefully forgotten by none, because I know he made a large impact on my life. I only wish he would have known that he could have come to me and spoke to me about how he was feeling. And hopefully I would have been able to do something. I know he's not here with us anymore, but in the community on Lifeless PvP, he'll never be forgotten. I asked him and Strafes YT to come in as devs on the server to help, because those were two people that I've never met in real life that I could trust more than anything. Two people that have never done me wrong. Two people that have always had my back, and I've made sure that I always had theirs anytime they needed something. So I brought them in, and in that short week that they were on the server as what I call the dream team of devs, they were able to fix so many issues. George spent so much time just working nonstop. He stayed up for 23 hours straight on several occasions during that week just to get things done, just to work on things, because he took pride in what he did and he loved the server. And even if he didn't talk to you guys much, just know that he loved our player base. Now, as for why he killed himself, I'd been talking to George a lot over the past month or two on Skype and on Facebook, and he was doing everything he could to battle the depression that he was facing. I mean, I knew he was beating himself up about things, but I didn't know it was this bad. Like, he talked to me about a little bit of stuff, but not much. And things were starting to look up for him. He was doing something that he loved on a server that he loved, for a dear friend that he loved. And he had just started talking to a new girl. Said that she blew him away. And because of one thing or another, piled on top of the depression that he was already facing, he took his own life. I've stayed in pretty well contact since I found out with his mother. We had a sale on the server for 48 hours, a pretty massive sale, 50% off, and all the proceeds went to a fund that will be sent to George's mother to help with the funeral costs. I personally, being in the United States, regretfully, I'm not going to be able to attend the funeral. But that doesn't stop me from letting him know that he'll always be in here. And he'll never be forgotten in my eyes. George, you were a dear friend. You were a kind person, a loving person, a hardworking person, and you had such a bright future. I only wish I could have done more to help. So to anyone watching this, or anyone on my server, if you need somebody to talk to, just know that regardless how busy I am, if it's something like that and you're feeling like that, you come to me. I don't care if I've never talked to you before. I don't care if I've talked to you every day. Come let me know. The impact that you doing something like this leaves on people is unthinkable, and people don't think about that before. Like, I'm sure George thought about how his mom would feel after it happened, and all of his loved ones. But he didn't just make an impact with them. He made a large impact on myself, on Lewis, or you know him as Strafes YT, um, Agonizing Gaming, our whole staff team, basically our whole server. So if you ever find yourself in that type of position, you come to me. You let me know what's going on. I don't care if I try to blow you off because I'm busy. You let me know what's going on, and I'll find a way to talk to you. I'll find the time to talk to you. Now, don't get discouraged if it doesn't happen right there. Just know that I work weird hours at my actual job. So if I don't get to it right then, understand that. Give me a couple hours and I will be right there. Just know that suicide's never the answer. Suicide is a permanent fix for a temporary problem in your life. Everything can be overcome. I lost my mother July of last year. So I know what George was feeling. And I know that's something that never leaves you. But I know that when I need it the most, all I have to do is ask and my friends will be there for me. So if you don't consider yourself my friend now, then you might as well, as of this moment. George, we love you. We miss you. And you will never be forgotten. I'll be doing another sale to try to help a bit more with the funeral costs. We've already raised about $230 towards what we're working for. I would like to be able to send more. So if you're interested in helping and you want to be able to get more for what you donate, then by all means, give it a little bit. I'll have a sale going up within the next 4 or 5 hours, and if you'd like to help out with that, you can take advantage of that sale and be able to do that while still supporting the cause. So George, I'm a better person for knowing you. And I thank you for everything you've done for me. I thank you for all the hard times that you talked me through. And I'm sorry that I couldn't be there when you needed me the most. We love you. Rest high, buddy.